Hello, I'm Bryan Hutcheson, Sheriff of Rockingham County and the City of Harrisonburg, and thank you for joining me for the Rocktown Crime Report on rocktownnow.com. As you may recall, last week we had to do our segment a day early. We usually do these every Friday. We had to do it a day early last week due to the emergency repairs that we had to have begin to have scheduled and get them underway here in the jail. We had to close the jail in order for those repairs to be done. Major plumbing repairs that were of such an emergency nature that we had to get all the inmates out so that those repairs could begin to be completed. Wanted to give you an update today as to how those repairs are going. Slow start, getting things going sometimes is not the easiest thing to do. And we got things started early in the week, and then it seems like every day there's been more and more progress that's been made. And so it's pretty encouraging in that way that it's really going well and seems to be, again, getting a little bit more so every day. So we're very grateful to the maintenance folks we have, to the plumbing contractors that we have that have really, again, got this thing, got it going, and really working very, very hard on doing what needs to be done so that we have our mainline pipes, our plumbing that works as it should. Do we know how much longer it's going to be? Originally, you may recall it was told to us in a 7 to 10 day window. We're right at it's been a week. It's probably maybe it's just hard to say would it be another week or not, closer to the 10 days and the 7 days are we obviously know that, but it's really hard to pinpoint because it just depends on how things go. But it's encouraging that so much progress is getting made. So we do hope for maybe within 2 weeks it could be three, but it's just hard to say. But I did want to apologize for the inconvenience. A lot of people, we understand that it's quite a wrench that's been thrown into a lot of people's lives, and again, apologize for the inconvenience that brought, but we're doing the best we can with it, and it is encouraging. The progress is being made. So that's your update for the situation at the jail. We're hoping sooner than later we can get back open and be fully functioning. The other thing we wanted to do, we wanted to move on to what we had been doing prior to that, our special emergency segment we did last Thursday, back to more of our Friday report where we had been looking at the arrests in Harrisonburg, Rockingham for a calendar week. So we had done that several times, and what I kind of wanted to do today is put all that together, since we don't really have, the jail's empty, so we don't have jail numbers to really update you for this week. Well, let's look at a comprehensive summary of the 3 weeks that we did look at. So let's take a look at those now, and that's the weeks of starting on April the 14th and running through Saturday, May the 4th. So 3 full calendar weeks where we looked at all arrests in the Harrisonburg, Rockingham area for that time period. As you can see in the chart we have here in blue, 36% is pretrial and probation violations. Those folks were repeat offenders, if you will. It's not a one-time thing where you get violated. You're given many chances to either on the pretrial side of things or on the post conviction side of things to stay out of jail, to get out of jail and stay out of jail as long as you follow what you're supposed to be doing. At whatever point, if that's not done and it's not done repeatedly, the judge has to violate those individuals and send them back to jail. So a big chunk of that pie chart, 36% for that 3 week period, were pretrial probation violations. Looking at, I guess, the biggest part in red, you'll see 39% for drug and alcohol related offenses. Those are the three we have been looking at: DUI, drunk in public, and possession of illegal drugs. 39% for that. In green, the 8% is larceny. All larceny related offenses were 8% for the 3 week period. And then in purple is everything else. The 17% is all other offenses not previously mentioned, including things like assault and battery, hit and run, arson, rape, brandishing a firearm, shooting at an occupied vehicle, among some other charges. But that's that catch-all slice of the pie there at 17%. But what you can clearly see, and what I believe is the most striking, is when you look at the red and blue combined for the 3 full week time periods of all arrests right here in our locality, 75%. So 3/4 of all arrests that were made were for probation violations or drug and alcohol related offenses. So that's, you want to know, I mean, what people are getting arrested for and coming to jail for. Well, there's 3/4 of it right now. And that, I think is very telling about, hey, what's going on here in Rocktown. Well, as far as on the folks getting arrested side of it, there's 3/4 of it right there. So kind of a summary. And if you look at what comprised that, it was 290 arrests. So not quite just under, I guess, 100 a week was the average for the 3 weeks. But of the 290 arrests, 75% of them were the probation violations and drug alcohol related offenses. So as far as that goes, there's your kind of a telling summary of, hey, what's going on here now. That I think tells a lot. So moving on, we wanted to hit a question of the day. We've gotten a couple of those in, and due to the emergency segment we had to do last week, we didn't do any. And so I wanted to touch a couple of them that had come in. If you have a question that you would like to get on the segment, then you can email it to news@rocktownnow.com. Any kind of question at all you'd like to have, email it to them, and we'll try to get you in on the next segment that we do. Every Friday we do the Rocktown Crime Report. But the couple that had come in that we wanted to touch on today, first off, what is the average amount of time that an inmate is held at this jail? And it's not a scientific average, but I can give you an approximate average, which is basically 6 months. On the pretrial, that the folks that are held pretrial, it's usually in that maybe 6 to 8 month window. Sometimes it can be more, a year or even two, but usually it's more in that 6 to 8 month window, and then they have the trial. Of course, if they're found not guilty, then they're released immediately. If they're convicted, then they would be here again sometime, somewhere, usually in that 6 to 8 month would be probably an average or a norm. Sometime due to extenuating circumstances, those individuals might be here for a year or even two post trial. So really, you got the 2 year on either side of the trial. That's pretty broad, but on a normal, to answer the question the best I can, I would say probably more like in that 6 month window. Pre and post trial would be the average amount of time that an inmate would be held here, depending on other circumstances. At whatever point they would go to a Department of Corrections facility and serve out the rest of their sentence. If it's beyond that year or two, they would go to another facility to do that. So hopefully that answers that question. That is a good question. And another question we wanted to touch on that came in: what is one of the weirdest but funniest incidents your office has encountered since you've been sheriff? And of course, we've had several, but one that jumped right out to me, and thinking about that question, was an incident that happened at the county fair last year. Of course, the county fair every August is a great time to get out and have a wonderful time in our community. The sheriff's office always has a booth out there. We'll hand out different things for the kids every night. Usually 2 nights we blow up balloons and hand out balloons to the kids who love that. And really, big part of the fair, having the balloons to go with it. The kids love it, and we love to get out there and do it. So one morning, after we had handed out balloons to the kids, a bunch of balloons to the kids at the fair the night before, I woke up and I was checking my email, and this was an email that had come in it was August the 16th of 2023, 10:30 a.m. I got an email that stated, "Good morning, Sheriff Hutcheson. Hope you are doing well today. This is a friendly email to let you know we found a red balloon with your name and number and the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office logo on it. Please see the image I attached. My husband and I found it in our yard in Silver Spring, Maryland, and thought you might like to see how far it had traveled. Please feel free to reply. We really enjoyed the fact that the balloon made it that far, and we hope that this brightens your day." And as you can see in the picture, that's the photo that she sent to me. And I looked it up at that time, and I think it was 100, almost maybe 150 miles. It's called over 100, well over 100 miles, that the balloon traveled from South Valley Pike to her yard in Silver Spring, Maryland. So a little bit, I think, a little bit of a funny incident. It's kind of maybe a little bit strange and lighthearted too. That you just never know where those things are going to end up. We try to hang on to them, but when you're blowing up balloons, sometimes a few of them get away as part of the fun. But I had no idea. I would never have guessed that one had traveled that far. And I've responded to the lady, and thanked her for letting me know that she had got a kick out of it. So anyway, hope that answers that question too. And again, if you have a question or something you'd like to get on the segment, shoot that email in, news@rocktownnow.com. We'll try to get you in on another segment. Every Friday we do the Rocktown Crime Report. The closing for this today, I just wanted to say thanks once again. A lot of thanks are in order for the tough times we're continuing to go through, but we're making progress on the repairs. We desperately want to get things back to normal around here, because they're very much not, but they're underway. We're gaining speed and getting better as we go. But thank you to all the contractors who've been amazing. Thank you to RSW, who continues to be amazing, Department of Corrections, Middle River Regional Jail, all of that. I mean, we would really be up a creek without them. So it's been amazing, the support, the people that have stepped up. And again, last but not least, the people of the sheriff's office. All parts of the sheriff's department have stepped up to do whatever they can do to help and just get through this whole deal with the total mess, literally mess that we have on our hands, doing the best we can with it, making the best of it, getting it fixed. And again, we apologize for the inconveniences, but we're very grateful for everybody stepping up during some tough times. So appreciate that. And again, every Friday, you can check out our segment on rocktownnow.com. Thank you for tuning into this one, and we'll see you next time.